Welcome to this explainer. Okay, I want you to picture a scenario, and honestly, I bet this has happened to you. You're just sitting in your living room with a friend, and the two of you are chatting about something completely random. Maybe you're joking around about finally upgrading to a fancy high-end coffee machine, or you're tossing around the idea of taking a trip to Japan next year. Now, you never actually search for it, you don't type it into Google, and you definitely don't open up any travel or shopping websites. The conversation just naturally ends, and you both go about your day. But then, maybe a few hours later, you open up Instagram, and boom, there it is, right in your feed. An eerily specific advertisement for that exact coffee machine you were just talking about, or cheap flights to Tokyo. At first, you might just laugh it off, right? But then you pause for a second, and you get that little chill down your spine. You can't help but ask yourself, wait a second, how on earth did my phone know? For years, literally millions of people have shared stories just like this, totally convinced that their devices are secretly recording their every word. Tech companies absolutely deny it, of course, while conspiracy theories spread across social media like wildfire. Okay, let's dive right into this. Today, we are investigating whether big tech is actually secretly recording us, or if something entirely different, and maybe even a little more surprising, is happening right under our noses.
Section 1. The prime suspect. Is the microphone always on?
It makes total sense why people naturally suspect the microphone, right? I mean, when an ad perfectly matches a casual chat you just had in your own living room, it feels way too perfect to just be a coincidence. But to figure out what's really going on, we have to look at how our own minds work. You see, our brains are incredibly good at spotting patterns. It's a built-in survival instinct, but this leads to a little something psychologists call confirmation bias. Basically, this means we hyper-focus on that one single time an ad magically matches our conversation, and we completely forget the thousands of other conversations we've had that didn't trigger any matching ads at all. The hit feels so incredibly significant that we just ignore all the misses. But even knowing that, it still begs the question, what is the microphone actually doing?
Let's ground this technology in reality for a second. Every modern smartphone includes multiple built-in microphones, and they are there for completely legitimate everyday things that you actively want to use. You need them for phone calls, sending voice notes to your friends, recording video, talking to voice assistants like Siri or Alexa, using speech to text, and powering some pretty vital accessibility features. So yes, your phone absolutely has the physical capability to listen, but the crucial question is, when is it actually listening?
Section 2. The alibi. The reality of always recording.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the logistics. If tech companies were genuinely recording every single conversation 24/7, they would run into a massive wall. Secretly capturing and uploading audio all day, every day would require astronomical amounts of your phone's battery life, local storage space, processing power, and internet bandwidth. Honestly, you would notice your phone dying by lunchtime and your data plan maxing out almost instantly. There's simply no strong public evidence that mainstream smartphones are routinely doing this. Instead, look at the contrast in actual engineering here. On one side, we have the myth of constant, secret streaming, unproven and highly impractical. On the other side, we have the reality, wake words. Voice assistants actually use lightweight on-device processing. They aren't streaming everything up to a cloud server. They're basically acting like a bouncer at a club, just standing by listening only for a very specific phrase, like, "Hey Siri," or "Hey Google." Until that wake word is triggered, your audio isn't going anywhere.
Now, sure, accidental activations absolutely happen. A television playing in the background, or even just a word that sounds kind of similar to the wake word, can trick the system into temporarily waking up and recording. But it's really important to note that major operating systems nowadays actually display clear indicators, like a small green or orange dot in the corner of your screen whenever the microphone is actively hot. So if the microphone isn't the primary way they know you want to go to Japan, what is?
Section 3. The real culprit. The silent data trail. Okay, I want you to completely shift your paradigm for a second here. Imagine someone follows you around for a whole month. They never hear a single word you say, not one. But they observe where you go, what stores you visit, what time you wake up, what movies you watch. By the end of that month, they would know intimately who you are without ever hearing your voice. Well, this is exactly how modern digital tracking works. Just look at the sheer volume of silent data points your apps collect. Your time zone, your broad location, the exact size of your screen, your app usage time, your purchase history, the specific websites you visit, the videos you watch, what you add to a shopping cart, and what you decide to remove from that shopping cart. Get this, they even track exactly how long your finger pauses over a product before you keep scrolling. Think about that for a second. They measure dwell time, so even your slightest hesitation, like a half-second pause on an image of a fancy coffee machine, is a massive, measurable clue about your current interests.
Section 4. The reveal, the power of prediction.
And this brilliantly illustrates how all these tiny, seemingly meaningless, isolated actions combine to create something incredibly powerful. They create highly detailed behavioral profiles. Let's walk through this predictive funnel so you can see exactly how this builds into the feeling that your phone is eavesdropping. Say you search for hiking trails on a Tuesday. Then on Thursday, you watch a few camping videos. Friday rolls around and you buy some waterproof shoes. By next week, you start checking hotel prices near national parks. You know what happens next? The algorithms have studied millions of users who took these exact steps before you. They know the pattern. No one needs to listen to your living room conversation to guess what you're doing. The system just does the math and decides, hey, this person is clearly going camping. Let's hit them with tent ads.
So, the absolutely crucial takeaway is this quote right here. It's prediction, not mind reading. This is the real aha moment of our explainer today. Modern advertising systems are so unbelievably advanced at recognizing patterns and predicting your next move that it actually feels like they are literally listening to your spoken thoughts. But it's an illusion created by highly sophisticated data math.
Finally, Section 5, the resolution. Silence says more than words. To wrap up our investigation, while apps can and do use your microphone when you grant them permission, or occasionally triggered by accident, there is just no strong public evidence of 24/7 mainstream recording for advertising. The reality is far less dramatic, yet honestly, arguably far more impressive. Because long before you ever say a single word out loud to a friend, your digital habits have already told a complete and highly accurate story to the algorithm. It knows where you go, it knows what you search, it knows what you buy. It knows who you follow, and crucially, it knows what you ignore.
So, the next time you get one of those spooky, perfectly timed ads, don't ask yourself if your phone is listening to you. Instead, ask yourself this: how much information am I giving away without even realizing it? Because in the digital age, your silence is already speaking volumes. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this gives you a whole new perspective on that little device sitting right there in your pocket.